Hello there, welcome to or welcome back to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly and I'm excited that you're here today for the continuation of the Gnomes for Summer series. Last week we created this layout number 1 in a 5-part series with a blotch background, a couple large Cricut elements, 2 adorable summer gnomes, and basic strips in the background. We're going to continue using the same ingredients that I described in detail in the previous video, which I'll link in the description. The primary ingredient being the Summer Gnome Scrapbooking Workshop Kit with those items shown that are what we're working with today. I'm going to use these inspiration photos, which are of course of 2 of my grandchildren, Hattie Elaine and Avery Jean, playing at home, everyday moments running through the sprinkler. They got a little fire hydrant sprinkler and they were running through the sprinkler having fun. And running through the sprinkler and playing with the hose, the garden hose, is something myself and my brothers did many days in the summer growing up. So I wanted to work on personalizing my page to my photos. So I found this hose and this sprinkler Cricut cut on my Cricut. Cut those on my Cricut in Journey and Glacier cardstock. Thought I could do the larger Focul photos on the left, the far away running through the sprinkler photos on the right, and I wanted to find a way to personalize my pages with the elements that I chose. Now, if you don't have sprinkler photos, you can change up those 2 Cricut elements to anything you wish. If they're garden photos, maybe you want to have some garden flowers or some other Cricut elements there. Or if you do want to just use the sprinkler and the hose, those are classic summer icons. So even if you have swimming photos or playing outside photos, the sprinklers would still work great. Now, when you have really large Cricut elements, you don't need a fancy background. So I started with 2 half-inch stripe strips and a 1/4-inch Journey cardstock strip on each page. I have a 9-inch peach circle on the light side, a scallop circle. The interior circle is made out of Journey and it's about 8 1/4. And then I have a 6-inch word paper circle in the middle. Now I created a scribble circle on the Cricut because I thought it would be fun to highlight whatever words you wanted in the word paper. So if you want gone fishing, you could use a scribble circle and circle gone fishing. If you want backyard barbecue, you could circle those words. Whatever words you like in the word paper, you could circle with the scribble circle cut out. I love that concept. So I have a 2 by 12 striped piece of paper that I thought I could toggle underneath the large scallop Cricut element. And then I could layer these 2 photos over the top of each other and sort of toggle those. Now, of course, this is the Summer Gnome series, so I am envisioning we have a summer gnome up on the corner of Avery Jean there. And just so maybe have the photos a little more to the left and then have the gnome on the right. Now I wanted some contrast. I wanted some Journey crisscross paper in there, but I didn't feel like I had to run that piece all the way across. So I ended up with 2 1/4 by 2 1/2, and then 1 3/4 by 2 1/2 on the left side. And then we're going to bend those just slightly in half to not crease them, and then cut a dovetail by cutting on an angle. It's a quick and easy way to create a dovetailed banner. Now you can do it the other way by cutting about a 1/2 inch into the center and then cutting from either side. And then I was kind of trying to decide, do I want to toggle those so they look like they're a whole piece going all the way across? Or do I want to have them on a diagonal and have them be playful? I do decide to go ahead and adhere the 2 by 12 stripe piece at 4 inches up from the bottom of the white paper. And then about a 1/2 inch down, kind of centered, I will put those 2 pieces. I'll lay my large circle there so I can sort of figure out where I want those dovetailed elements. I do want to adhere that peach scallop circle down to the page, but I know we're probably going to add some treatments. We're probably going to do some background stamping because we're dealing with the hose, we're dealing with the sprinkler. So you know what that means. That means we're going to want splatter, right? So we're probably going to do a little bit of stamping splatter with a background stamp. And so I'm not going to adhere that peach scallop piece down, but I do want to pop up the journey scallop piece on top of the peach, and the word paper, I do want to pop that up with foam tape on top of that. Again, if you like everything flush and you don't like so much popping like I do, I really do a lot of popping because I love a lot of dimension. And I do feel that even without a lot of embellishments, just by popping certain elements up, you get dimension in your pages and you get varied interest in your pages. Even if you don't have a lot of elements, if you pop some of them up and leave some of them flush, it gives your pages the look of being more elevated. And that's totally my opinion. So if you are a person, I have tons of paper crafters that do not pop at all. So you do you. That's what I always say. You do you, boo, and you make it your own. My layouts and my videos are designed to be inspiration only, to inspire you and give you a jumping off point. So I often will hear people make different comments about certain things that they love and certain things that they wouldn't ever do or don't like. And no worries, you don't even have to point that out because it's a given that you will leave off things that you don't like, you will add things that you do like, and you will have fun with these pages and make these pages your own. So here is the gnome that I chose. I made my summer gnome, and again, in my previous video, all of the pieces used to make these gnomes, I've gone over those in great depth, so I'll link that if you want to go back and see what I've done there. But I used the sailor paper on the gnome's hat. I used Rosy cardstock, light and dark, on his sunglasses. I used journey paper on his drink and his flip-flops, and Rosy on his little drink umbrella, and then the light peach for all of the skin tone pieces, and his background piece, his nose. And so you can change those up. You can change the skin tone. You can change any of the glasses color, the hat color, the drink color. I just thought those colors would go really well with the colors that I'm using in this layout. So now I'm going to continue that 2-inch strip, but I'm going to stop at 11 inches on the right page. Now, if I didn't say it before, each of my photos has an 1/8-inch photo mat in white. So I have a 4x4 on the left, a 3x4 on the left. On the right, I have a 4x6, a 4x4, and a 4x4. And each of those 5 photos is an 1/8 inch of a border of a white photo mat, and then a 1/4 inch border of a light peach photo mat, and then another 1/4 of an inch with the journey photo mat, so that they're very layered photo mats. I wanted those mats to pop, and I wanted them to also ground those really bright colors in the girls' towels. They have bright swimming suits, they have bright colored towels, and some of the colors in the towels don't actually go with the layout, and some of them do. So there's definitely Rosy in the layout. There's some honey butter or lemonade in the towels that are in the layout. There's a little bit of Lagoon in the layout, but there's purples in the towels also. And of course, there are no purples in this color scheme, which is okay because that's why I use a grounding color on my photo mats. It really tones down the photos when there's an edge on the photos that coordinates with your colors. So if you ever run into a problem where your photos are not matching your color scheme, and that happens a lot with me with lake photos. The reason is I have beautiful nature colored lake themed papers, but when we're at the lake, everyone's wearing lime green, purple, bright pink. The tube is bright red. The other tube is purple and black. It's like all of the lake colors. When you have serene lake paper, my photos never match Serene Lake. The nighttime ones, when we're around the campfire, I can get some of kneeboarding ones or skiing ones where I'm just focusing on one of the grandkids or one of the kids that's skiing. But when we're talking swimsuits, tubes, boats, one of our sons has a bright red boat. Our son-in-law has like blue and yellowish boat. And oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm talking too much. I've added my Cricut elements. I'm happy with those Cricut elements. I am envisioning using the Art of Texture stamp set and adding some background splatters with one of the splatter stamps in that. Now I did pop up the sprinkler. I did pop up just the nozzle of the hose, and I envision just organizing that so that it's just sticking between those photos and it's spurting the droplets of water up over the girls, which will be playful and fun. And I do actually have more water droplets that are the shape of the sprinkler drops, but I couldn't really see how to fit those in. I didn't think they would look very good on top of the photo, and I thought I'm kind of happy with just the sprinkler running just a little bit, just like it shows in the photos. So now I'm experimenting here. We could do Lagoon, we could do Glacier, and we could do Journey. Do I want darker splatters than the Glacier drops coming out of the hose? Do I want lighter splatters, or do I want splatters that match? So I'm just kind of doing second generation stamping with the Art of Texture splatter stamp, and there's lots of other great texture stamps in that would really make great backgrounds. But I really like this one that just looks like a little water splatter. And then I will add the little Cricut droplets coming out of the hose as well. Just a little bit of playful fun. And I grew up drinking out of the water hose and squirting. We squirt each other with the water hose, and we played in sprinklers, and that was great fun. We didn't have pools like plastic pools or blow-up pools when I was growing up, but we had water tanks, and so we had livestock and horses, and so we would go swimming in the water tanks, which probably sounds absolutely gross to city people, but it was usually slimy. Probably some grass floating in the top, but we did not care. We were kids and we could have cared less. And so, yeah, so I think that our kids these days, we're a little more sanitary than we used to be when I was growing up, but it was great fun. And I don't have a lot to say, a lot of journaling. I have a tiny bit of journaling, and I'm kind of eyeballing that little nook there between the two left photos on the right page, maybe. And now I can actually, because the splatters are in place, I'm actually going to be able to anchor. And so I'm going to have to put foam tape on some edges of some of the photos, and then the other areas will be flush with the other popped up parts. So I'm doing that. And then basically for splatters, I've done way in the upper left corner of the left page, a little bit around the scallop circle. And you're going to see here in just a little bit that I add some more there, because once I add a sticker and I start embellishing, I feel like we need a little bit more splatter, then a little splatter down along the striped piece. That is going to be kind of where the gnome is going to sit, because we're going to add that summer gnome. I'm going all out with summer gnomes. I mean, I've talked before on this theme how it could absolutely be no gnomes whatsoever. There's only one pattern out of 6 that has gnomes in the pattern. All the rest of them are bright and cute summer patterns. So if you are not a gnome person, you could use the Gnomes for Summer Scrapbooking Stampin' Thin Cut Set that is just basic summer icons. There's a little sprinkler, there's ice cream cones, there's a sun, there's pineapple, so it's only summer icons and summer sentiments in that. And then the standalone summer gnome would not have to be used. Now, I have definite Snips by Kelly paper crafters that are all on gnomes, all about the gnomes, and those who are not. But this layout in particular would be very cute without that summer gnome or with that summer gnome. Now I've decided to pull in one of those little sprinklers from the Stampin' Thin Cut set to tie in the left page with the right. I just thought it would be a really cute icon, probably putting it in the lower left next to Hattie sticking her tongue out. And I'm going to use the blue tri-blend marker, aqua blue, and I'm using the dark side for the water and for the hose. And then I'm going to come back in with a citrus yellow and color just like the nozzle of the hose. It was hard to decide if I wanted to match the Journey color of blue in that water or if I wanted to match the Glacier blue or the Lagoon blue. Now I totally would have used Lagoon on the sprinkler hose and the garden hose, but I am getting to the end of my Close to My Heart paper, which many of my Snips by Kelly paper crafters are as well. Some were able to stock up big time. I felt like I stocked up, but just a couple workshops later and I'm already getting low because I use so much paper for Cricut cutting for my paper crafters and in my own paper crafting. When you do a 10 or 12 page workshop, at a minimum, you need 10 or 12 base pages. That's 10 or 12, 12 by 12. And then if you have any layering or any Cricut cuts, you can blow through the cardstock pretty fast. And we don't yet have too many colors from Stampin' Up! That are 12 by 12. They're trying. They're giving us as much as they can give us, as fast as they can give us. And there are certain colors that are with the Gnome series that they do have. I do believe they have Peach still. They have Journey still. I do believe they have some Lagoon, even though I'm out of Lagoon. I had to order some. They are completely out of Sapphire. I believe that they have Honey Butter. So they do have some 12 by 12 paper cardstock available. Now I've just snipped off one of the stickers and made a little banner in the upper left, and then I'm going to add a little crisscross banner. I'm not giving you exact measurements. I mean, I could guess that I snipped off about 1 inch of the orange sticker to make the banner up on the upper left, and it looks like the crisscross is about 3/4 by 3/4. And just to add a little, grab a scrap that you're not using and add a little banner up to the upper left. And then I'm going to add this little awesome sticker to pull in a lighter color of Journey. And this is where I discover that I think we need some more blotches in the background. We need some more splatter in the background, because the sticker covered up quite a bit of splatter. So I'm going to grab that Journey ink back out. I'm going to stamp off on my scrap, and then I'm going to stamp up in the corner there. And then I'm happy with that. I like that extra up there. I'm not going all out all over the place. Just a few little things that might look like a little bit of water squirting. And then I'm going to pull in a little Rosy with the Adventure Time sticker. And I think we need a round element. So I was kind of looking, and we have this little round Rosy star. I think that will work. We're probably going to come back in and do some embellishing with the glitter paperboard pieces that come right in the kit, but I love Heart This. So it's a little speech bubble, and I think that can come right out of the gnome as if he's saying, love this. Love this day, love the girls running in the sprinkler and wrapping up in their beach towels, just playing in the yard. I'm going to take that leftover orange sticker to tie some orange from the left to the right page and do a little bit of color balance there. And I want to decorate and put a little something at the top of that. And I'm thinking, you know, we're getting there. So I'm thinking maybe the paperboard stars and paperboard shells. So I'm going to pull a few of the paperboard shells up to the upper left by those dovetailed banners. And I think probably do some larger stars over by the orange sticker on the right page, maybe a few littler stars or medium stars by the gnome and down toward the bottom to do a little bit of balancing. Less is more. I'm thinking about my journaling. I'm thinking I might journal in that little notch by the hose on the right page. And then I'm thinking to myself, is there a more creative way to journal? Sometimes I'm trying to find creative journal spots where it's a little bit more fun. I don't have a lot to say. I mean, this was just Hattie and Avery playing in the yard. It's actually quite a few years ago. And I was just kind of going back through photos that I haven't used yet, that I've hearted and that I wanted to use. And I found these sprinkler photos. I think I have another set of sprinkler photos that's a few years later from a birthday party, but I loved this one and how much fun they were having in the sprinkler. And I'm thinking I could go ahead and do that notch, but I changed my mind and I do a little fun, playful journaling around the hose. I love that. And I just think it's fun in the sun, in the summer with Hattie and Avery. And I'm finally happy. I'm getting happy. I love it. It's playful. It's fun. And I hope that it's given you some ideas on how to personalize your pages. So whatever your photos or your pages are trying to say, you can add a couple larger elements from the Cricut or stickers that personalize your pages and your photos to your memories. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you'll stay tuned right here on Snips by Kelly for the next Gnome for Summer layout, which would be number 3 of 5. Hit like, subscribe. Bye.